The fortune is in the follow-up. Welcome back to another episode of All or Nothing in Real Estate. I'm your host, Matt Smith, founder of All or Nothing in Real Estate. And with me, I have a very special guest, Lana Sbitany. Is that how you say your last name?
Yep.
Sbitany? Lana, thank you so much for being here.
Thanks for having me.
Lana is an agent, a squad leader on our team, and she has a lot of knowledge to share with us. Today, we're going to dive into the fortune is in the follow-up. And so I think this is a very, very hot topic for real estate industry right now. There's a lot of agents that are struggling to try to find their traction and how do I navigate this new marketplace. And I really think that the passion of this podcast is to give back to those in the industry that's given so much to me. And I really think this is something that you and I both can bring value to the audience on. How do you master follow-up? What is the importance of follow-up? And more so, how can we do it? And so before I dive into kind of where we're going to go with that, Lana, you and I were talking, and the reason that I wanted to invite you on this, of the many reasons, the main reason is that you recently had a massive success story with follow-ups and had like 5 under contracts in one weekend, and all of those were stemmed from follow-up. Do you want to tell a little bit of that story?
Yeah, so like you said, I went under contract with 5 of my clients in one weekend. And, to be transparent, those clients were all clients that I followed up with. When I initially made contact with them, they were not ready to purchase a home. But after, gathering the information in terms of what their timeline looked like and what they were looking for, just maintaining that relationship and keeping in contact with them, keeping them educated on what was going on here in our local market, as well as what was going on with interest rates, things that had a lot of the, buyers and sellers concerned.
Sure.
Providing that value over that length of time, even though I knew that they were 6 months or more out, was really important to them and provided a lot of value and let them know that I was really in it to help them and make sure that I was supporting them through one of the biggest purchases of their life.
I love it. I love it. So, guys, we're going to break this down in great detail. One of the things that I'm kind of on a roll on this podcast is that I feel like a lot of times I fall in the trap of going mindset and leadership and like higher level conversations here, which is relevant. That's the start of everything. But I want to get more tactical, and that's why I'm bringing in special guests like Lana and different things to go more tactical on follow-up specifically in this episode. And we're going to break down what Lana did well, what we're experiencing on our team, some other agents. So we're going to talk about a few things in follow-up. So one of those is, I think a lot of people get discouraged, right? They get discouraged on, they said they're not ready to buy a house. You said in your story, when you initially talk to them, they're not ready, and agents get discouraged, right? We're going to break that down. The importance of the opportunity that is presented to you when someone says, I'm not looking for the next 6 to 12 months, or I'm not really in a hurry. Most agents, again, get discouraged, but we're going to paint that picture and an opportunity, how you can maximize that. How you can set boundaries with your clients, the power of video text. I think that's a big one. How you can build referrals from these relationships and follow-ups. And then we're going to tie all that together. And we also have a special gift that I'm going to give away. It's called our appointment setting dialogue. And so we're going to have a link to that. You want to make more money in real estate, that is the script that you need. You want to set more appointments. It is an absolute game changer. So Lana, let's kind of dive in. I think I'm going to start with a problem that I see as a real estate coach, as a team leader, talking with our agents and other agents across the country. Agents struggle with follow-up, partially because of the marketplace that we came out of. You didn't have to follow up. And partially because you don't get that instant gratification of that sale today, right? Agents sometimes have the false expectation of every lead is the bottom of the funnel lead, or it's a bad lead, right? And I don't believe there's anything as such thing as a bad lead. There's just bad follow-up, bad strategy, and bad agent skill set. The better that you are at your skill set, the better you are at your follow-up, and the more proactively you work with that lead, the better the quality of the lead becomes.
Absolutely.
And so you have control of how good that lead is in most circumstances based upon how you follow up with them, how you engage with them, and what level of relationship you're able to build. And I think follow-up is a huge, huge game that you have an opportunity to win. One of the things that I hear a lot is, well, Matt, I don't know what to say when I follow up. most agents don't follow up because they don't know what to say. And so this script that we're going to share with them will absolutely give them and arm them with all the information to not only to follow up properly, but also to provide value in the follow-up. And so, Lana, let's kind of dive in back into your story a little bit. So one of the things that you mentioned in your story was sometimes agents get discouraged, right? They get discouraged when they're following up. They get discouraged on, well, they said they're not ready to buy, and then they just completely dismiss that lead and kind of get discouraged of this was a bad lead.
Right.
You want to talk on that a little bit?
Yeah, well, I mean, I was guilty of that as well. You know, I'm relatively new to the industry. So, you know, we had this expectation of like, oh, when you start in real estate, you know, anyone you talk to, they're ready to buy, sell, and it's like a slam dunk, right? So when you get on the phone and, you know, you're talking to this, you know, lead before they become your client, and they're saying, oh, well, we're still 6 months out. We're still a year out, you know, 18 months out, whatever their timeline is. You know, it's almost like, and I speak for myself, where I would feel like the wind was taken out of my sails, right?
Sure.
Like, oh, okay, well, so, all right, cool, you know, like, so they're not ready. Now what do I do, right?
Yeah,
you know,
this was a waste of time. Yeah.
Yeah, or like, well, I
Why
guess
is Matt
I'll just,
giving me these junk leads, right?
Yeah, right. But, you know, when I shifted my mindset to where, well, you know what, this is actually an opportunity to build relationships with these leads, eventually turn into clients. And some of the things that you mentioned, like some of the obstacles that you mentioned in regards to, oh, what do we talk about next? Well, when you're starting out, yeah, it's a little bit challenging, you know, to kind of figure out what you're going to talk to them about every time you call. But you're building that relationship. You're finding out more about their family, more about what, you know, some of the obstacles that they may be running into with purchasing a home or moving from a different state, because we are military heavy around here. So that is something that's extremely stressful.
Sure.
But when I shifted my mindset and I realized that this is an opportunity, this isn't something where I should look at it as, well, okay, I'm not going to have a transaction with this client anytime soon, you know, so I'm just going to move on to the next one and find that next shiny object or low-hanging fruit, as you know, we say sometimes we get some leads that are ready to go. And it started to get to the point where I enjoyed getting those leads that came in that were further out.
Well, I think let's talk about that mindset for a second. So I love that you had that mindset shift, and it's amazing to see how quickly that turned into results for you, right? Is when you shifted your mindset and you thought, how can I provide value to them? Like you started getting results. Mm-hmm. Versus if you would have kept that mindset of, oh, these are junk leads or this is that, or why are these people not ready to buy now? Then you're not following up with them. You're not building that relationship, and all that work goes undone, and they're going to work with someone that actually wants to help them, right? And you're not going to see them again. And so I think I was writing down as you were talking I think this is a quote that I say that kind of offends some agents, but it's so true. The skill set of the agent determines the quality of the lead. If you're having bad leads, if you think your lead quality is terrible, when's the last time you looked in the mirror and said, what is my mindset around that lead? What is my follow-up cadence? What have I said to them? Have I listened back to the call? What value have I provided that relationship to help move them along in the funnel? Because I think a lot of agents do have that wrong expectation, right? Is that everything is only people we're going to talk to are people that want to buy a house tomorrow.
Right.
But the reality is lead generation is getting hand raisers of people that are interested in buying or selling real estate. Like everyone in our database, of our 40,000 plus people in our database, each one of them raised their hand at one point in time. So you have to realize that they've already said, hey, I need help, but it is our job to guide them through the process to see how we can educate, how we can inform them so they can make an intelligent decision for them and their family. But our job is not to wait for them to make that decision and tell us when they're ready.
Right.
Like we are not order takers as salespeople. I literally just came out of a meeting with some of our listing team, and I got a little passionate like I tend to do. And I said, when's the last time you guys looked at your real estate license? Everybody's like, well, I don't know. I said, what's the last word on your real estate license on the title? It says real estate what? Licensed real estate what? Salesperson. Be a salesperson. That's what you're licensed in. And part of sales is really realizing that you need to educate, inform, and influence people to make the right decision for themselves.
Right.
And part of that is done through the follow-up game. And so I think you said something that is very, very important, is that you had the mindset of, well, they're looking to buy in 6 months was your example. I think that we tend to see that as a negative, right? Or an agent says, well, they said they're just looking, and that's like a bad thing. I don't know about you, but in real estate, I want to talk to people who are just looking to buy or sell real estate. I want people that are going to buy or sell real estate in the next 6 months, because I plan on being an agent in the next 6 months.
Right.
And you need to build that pipeline. And so when you made that mindset shift and you started building those relationships, building those pipelines, it resulted in 5 contracts in a weekend, right? All based on follow-ups.
Right.
So I think what else would you like to add to someone that maybe is getting discouraged by the lead quality, or doesn't know how to follow up, the discouraged part of the sales business?
Well, even providing that value and educating clients that are further out, you got to remember, when you're providing that value to them and they see that you're consistent in your follow-up, you're reaching out, making sure that they're taking care, they're aware of what's going on in the market. You got to remember also that they have friends, they have family, coworkers that may be ready to buy or looking for an agent as well. And they're going to think of you because you're providing so much value to them, knowing that they're so far out in, from purchasing a home, to where they're like, wow, if she's providing this much value to us and we're still a ways out, what can she do for some of my friends or family coworkers that are ready to go?
100%. Yeah, I love that. That's an opportunity, right? It's the mindset shift. You adjusted your attitude to it, or your mindset to it. It's a shift of mindset shift of like, these people are an opportunity. And what can I do to provide so much value that they start recommending me to their friends? That should be the goal of every conversation, by the way. You want to know the secret to scaling a business? Like, I'll give you the biggest secret I've ever learned in business. You take one client, you turn them into 3. You turn 3, you turn them into 9. That is how you grow a business, is you have to focus on that customer, provide them value, and they will give you so much referrals and so much business. Your business will grow so fast you can't keep up. But where people stop is they want to find that next magic bullet. They want to find that shiny object. Or, well, I'm not going to talk to this lead because they're going to buy in 6 months. I need someone who's going to buy now. And they discount that lead that could have been that connector that helps grow their business up massively. You have to treat everyone like they are your only customer. And that starts in the follow-up, right? Because people understand that and people will respect that. Let's talk about the relationship that you can build. I would argue that a lead that is looking to buy in 6 months is more valuable than a lead that is looking to buy in 6 days.
100%.
Why?
Especially because you're building that lifelong relationship with them. I mean, if you're talking to a lead for 6 months plus, you're learning more about them, their families, just everything about them, and building that strong foundation of any relationship that's successful. So I actually now prefer the ones that are further out.
I love it.
Because I know that they will always be there. They know that I'll always be there for them to support them in any way possible. And, it just makes everything so much more enjoyable. Makes the job a lot more fun, to be honest with you.
I love it. I love that you agreed with me. We've never talked about that before. I think it's the first time I've ever said it. It's funny that you agreed with me. Because that was kind of risky of me saying that. But I really think that it provides you more opportunity to build that relationship, to get more referrals, to have a longer lasting impression on that person's life, right? Like, our core focus here at Matt Smith Real Estate Group is changing lives. We have a better chance of changing their life if we have more opportunity to help them build a plan. I think that's what a lot of people struggle with when they struggle with follow-up. They don't know what to say because they've never really helped someone build a plan on buying or selling real estate. Just because they're looking in 6 months doesn't mean they don't need your help today.
Right.
As a matter of fact, they do need your help today, and it's your job to articulate that value you can provide by helping them build that proper plan, especially if they're in our market. A lot of people are moving from out of state. They don't know the area. They don't know the school district. They don't know a lot of things, and that gives us that time to provide that value before they're here to help them understand when they get here, they're ready to make the decision.
Right.
And so I think a big mindset shift again can be when you're in your follow-ups, you're having those conversations, realize that part of that conversation is to build a plan for this person.
Right.
You're the expert. Give them your expertise, help them, provide them value, and build that plan of what their home buying or home selling journey should look like, and give them steps in the process and help hold their hand through that process. So you are the guide to help them make that big financial decision in their life.
Plus, during that time, you're also, with clients that are further out, you are, uncovering potential obstacles that if they were closer.
Ooh, yeah.
So we're talking about like speaking with lenders, determining if they are in the position.
Less last minute oopsies, right?
Exactly. So you could take care of all of that stuff prior to getting to reaching their timeline of when they were actually wanting to purchase. So that this way, when they are ready to, if they're getting here in 6 months, we've already dealt with anything that could have come up during that 6-month period before we start looking at properties. So.
Well, and I think also, like I've said this before, and I haven't fully processed it, so I'm gonna do my best to not verbally vomit this thought. But I think there is tremendous value in the long-term lead, and there's more opportunity for you to provide value. There's more opportunity for you to stand out and be the one that is. I struggle. I go back and forth, but I really think there's a strong argument for a 6-month. A buyer that's looking to buy in 6 months is more valuable than a buyer from a team leader perspective. A better investment than a lead that's looking to buy in 6 days. Most agents are probably freaking out right now. Well, what do you mean by that? So let me give you a little perspective on why I say that. If you have that lead that's looking to buy in 6 days, that means that that they registered a year ago, 18 months ago somewhere. And somebody dropped the ball on follow-up.
Did not provide that value.
They did not provide that value, did not build the relationship. And so that's how you got that low-hanging fruit. Mm-hmm. I say this to agents on our team. I want to find that low-hanging fruit, and I absolutely do. So they get that instant gratification. But I still think there's a strong argument for that 6-month out lead is so much more valuable because there's less people that are willing to do the work necessary for that 6-month period of time to provide that value. And now that 6-month lead will never turn into a 6-day lead in anyone else's database, right, because we snatched them up first.
Mm-hmm. And you built that relationship, took care of them and their families.
Yep. Yeah. I think there's so much value in that. What are your thoughts on that? You agree?
No, I agree. I do, because, it's almost like when you're building that relationship with these clients, you eliminate that question of what am I going to call and talk to them about? Because guess what? You've built that relationship with them. You can call and talk to them
about their kids, about their dogs.
Everything. Yeah. I mean, even if it's not something that's real estate related, you remember something that's going on in their life, or their kids' lives, and you call and you reach out and you acknowledge like something that you talked about from the last conversation, a milestone for themselves or their kids. I mean, there's a ton of value there. I mean,
100%.
We all know what it feels like when someone calls, reaches out to you, wishes you happy birthday, or like, remembers something you told them about your kids. Like, I mean,
yeah. Wow. I love it.
It's more than just real estate, really.
I love it. If you guys can't tell, Lana is an amazing person. You could feel her heart coming through when she's saying that. So I love it. I love that you are that type of person, and that you understand it from that perspective. There's so many more people that you're going to help in this business because of that, for sure. Let's talk about video text. Have those been a big part of your follow-up game of your business?
No, not really.
Okay.
It's gotten stronger,
Good.
because I now see how much value there is in those video texts.
Colin's
right?
back here cracking up laughing. He's like, "Oh no, she dropped that one."
No,
I appreciate the honesty.
But I noticed the increase in interaction with clients now that I've implemented that into my follow-up.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
100%. So you still haven't maybe jumped in with both feet, but you've dipped your toe in the water, and the more you're doing it, the better results you're seeing.
Yeah, and then it makes you want to send more video texts. So you know what I mean? So It's initially you're like, oh, video text, but then once you start sending those video texts and you see how much it means to those clients,
Yep.
makes you want to like send them.
Well, when's the last time? So think about this perspective. I think that there's so much value in inefficiencies, and there's so much value in doing things that stands out and is different, that has thought involved, right? Like, when's the last time you got a gift that was handmade, like for Christmas, that someone put so much thought that meant so much to you versus someone that spent $100 on a gift?
Right.
This one was costing them $1, but it means way more.
Right.
And so instead of just falling into the normal of making the phone call or sending the text, stand out, be different,
Right.
provide that value.
And it's so personalized too,
Yes.
you know, it's like you're having a conversation with them. They're seeing your body language,
Yep.
that you are excited to be calling them, following up with them, providing that value. So they actually just see it. It's not just over the phone. So
100%.
they see, you know, your body language, the excitement in your voice, and reaching out to them. So
Yeah, and I think too, like I talk a lot about the communication circle. I think communication is a huge part of our business, and I think a lot of agents struggle with that part. As weird as it is to say that, I feel like there is a struggle there, and part of it is because we're not able to deliver 100% of the communication we intend to, and so only 7% of the way people receive communication is the words that they say. Right? Only 7%. So if you send a text message, you're only have a 7% chance of them understanding what you meant. When's the last time you got a text message or an email and you're like, what in the world? Why is Lana mad at me? And you pick up the phone, you call Lana, and Lana's like, hey, how you doing? Having an amazing day. I'm like, oh, I thought you were mad at me, Lana. You're like, oh, no, not at all.
right.
You misinterpreted that text message. How many times do your clients misinterpret what you're saying or the meaning behind it? And so you don't have a chance of delivering the message fully. Another 38% of how people receive communication is your tonality, the tone of your voice. That's why a phone call is better than a text for sales conversations. People understand more on a phone call. You have a big, important conversation, you don't send it in a text or an email. If there's details involved, you need them to understand, it's a phone call.
Right.
But you're still missing, that's only 45%. So there's still a 55% chance if you do that they still don't understand what you mean. Because the way that most people understand communication or receive communication is body language, 55%. So you're able to accomplish 100% in a personalized fashion if you do a video text.
Right.
Right? And so it's also, here's an agent hack. It also helps you manage your time. Because when's the last time you have one of those clients that you love dearly, but you know when you pick up the phone, it's an hour phone call? Send them a video text with what's important, and you control your time.
Right.
Because now it's 2 minutes versus an hour, right?
Exactly.
But they receive the message fully. It was still personalized. There's just so much value in doing that. Anything else you'd like to add on video text?
No, I'm going to keep sending them.
Yeah. I think it's a
And
great
I'm
way
going
for...
to send even more because
love it.
I just see the value in it. I mean, and the excitement from, the client side of just, it means so much to them. So definitely something that I'm happy I incorporated into my business.
Here's a freebie too. It's great for follow-up, right? But it's also great for someone that's ghosted you. What if you got that client that you called, they're never answering the phone? That has something going on, and when's the last time? Just pick up the phone and send them a video text that's personalized. Hey, Lana, I just wanted to check in. Is everything okay? I know we haven't talked in a couple of months. I know you were looking for this and that, and like make it personalized. Please reach out to me. I'm here for you. But I am kind of concerned about you, Lana. Are you okay? Right? Like now I'm a person. I'm a real person that has real concern versus being a robot that sent a text, or you know what I mean? Like, because we as agents don't always have the best perception of, like, we're right above used car salesmen, right? Like, and some agents have earned that. Let's be honest. If you're listening to this, sorry, it's just the truth. But part of what we are doing here with this podcast and what Lana and I are sharing with you is be better, be different, be more than that, provide more value so that they understand that you're actually here to help them and guide them through the biggest purchase or sale of their life.
Oh, yeah.
Like, that's what we do here as
Building
real
that
estate agents.
trust and
That's right.
rapport. Yeah.
Love it. I want to talk about a couple things here before we wrap up. Number one, I said this from stage, and I was asked to speak in Myrtle Beach at the Connection Summit event my buddy Preston Guyton hosted, and it was an amazing event. But one of the things I said from the stage is I said, there's a room of, 150 people. I said, each and every one of you in this room has hung up on more clients or more leads than leads have hung up on you. You have hung up on more leads than leads have hung up on you. And the whole room goes, what? No, not me. And I say, because here's what a hang up is if you left that conversation without an appointment or without a follow-up appointment, meaning I have an appointment to meet with you face-to-face, or I have an appointment for our next phone call to move the conversation forward.
Right.
When's the last time that you left a phone call as a real estate agent with, oh, we'll touch base, talk to you soon, let me know if you see anything you like. Hey, send me any properties that you like.
Don't expect them to ever answer again.
You are not standing out. That is a hang up. You wasted your time. You are hoping that they come back and do your job for you. Instead, develop the skill set, be the person that is proactive, building that relationship, that whenever you have that conversation, say Lana is a new buyer on the website and I have a conversation with her, my goal of that phone call is to set an appointment with her face-to-face. If she's not ready to do face-to-face, I'm going to do it via Zoom. If she's not ready to do it Zoom, I'm going to set up the expectations of our next phone call so I can help her take the next step in her home buying journey. Anything other than that is a hang up. You want to talk about quality of leads? Get your skill set where you don't hang up on your leads, and I promise you your lead quality will go through the roof. So that was a tangent. Sorry. I hope I didn't yell too much.
No, it's all right. We're used to yelling.
It's all out of love, though. So, Lana, I want to drop the people some free value. So, one of the things I think that you could agree that has been a game changer for our company has been focusing on one script. Like, we have multiple scripts, we have multiple situations, lead sources, but this one script has been a massive, massive impact and needle mover on our business. And I think for those agents, if you're out there saying, well, what do I say when I follow up? When I follow up, I don't provide enough value. What do I need? What do I say when I follow up with them? How do I provide that value? How do I ask for the business? This script is a great framework. And so Lana and I are going to go through it. But if you're listening to this and you would like access to it, click the link. And wherever you're watching this, we're going to have a link where you can download this as a free resource for yourself. And so make sure to click that link and you put in your information and it'll magically pop up in your email somehow. I'm not sure how they do it, but they do it. But we want to give you that free resource of this script. But Lana, I want to go through this quickly and kind of you and I role play this. I know most people are listening on audio, but I just think this appointment setting dialogue is so crucial to setting massive number of appointments, especially in follow-up. You can call it an appointment setting dialogue or you can call it a follow-up script because we need to realize that as an agent, when we follow up, I think the appointment setting dialogue name came from because agents got into a habit of their following up to follow up. When's the last time you followed up with someone as an agent, if you're listening to this, and said, hey, I just wanted to follow up and check in. I'm just checking in. Hey, just calling to follow up. Guys, that's dead. That does not get you to the appointment, right? Like there is a time and a place to just have a conversation, but that's after you've already set the appointment, right? And so make sure your whole goal of the phone call is to set an appointment. So we're going to walk you through the framework of how to set more appointments. So first it goes with, hi Blank, hi Lana, this is Matt with Matt Smith Real Estate Group. How are you?
Oh, doing great.
Awesome, Lana. Well, I'm calling you back just like I said I would, and I wanted to confirm your plans to buy or sell from our last conversation. You had told me that you're planning to move to blank, buy blank. Are those still your plans?
Yeah, those are still our plans.
Awesome. And you had said that you were buying or selling because of blank. Is that correct?
Yes, we have a job transfer, so we have to make that move.
Awesome. So already, guys, let me stop the role play quickly. Already you can see this is different. I'm not saying, hey, I'm just calling to check in. Hey, I'm calling to confirm your plans to buy or sell. I'm re-emphasizing the importance of you are a motivated buyer or seller. And then I'm also making sure that they remember I was listening and confirming their plans that they are moving to X area and they want to be there by Y time frame. That's a crucial part of this.
And I'm calling you back just like I said I would.
Yeah, for sure.
That's my favorite part.
I love it. Calling you back just like I said I would. Guys, let me let you in on a secret. I hope none of our clients are listening to this because if you are, I think it worked on you, and sorry, we weren't manipulating you. We're doing it to help. But I have agents on the team that are newer agents that we have an abundance of leads that we're doing different call nights, different things, and they said we were focused on the appointment setting dialogue, and they said, Matt, I don't have any follow ups. Sure, you do. Here's all of these in our database that are in a follow up stage. Call them. Well, you want me to say I'm calling back just like I said I would, even though I've never talked to them? Absolutely, I do. Guess how many of them said, I've never talked to you before? 0, right? Like it works because how many salespeople lack follow-up, lack that persistence, lack that value being added? I want to build trust and authority in every phone call. And so again, how do you end a phone call? You set your next appointment or you set your next follow-up appointment. So I set that in my previous call. and I said, Lana, I'll talk to you next Tuesday between 2 and 3 o'clock. Does that work for you? Awesome. And now I'm going through the script. Hey, Lana, I'm calling you back just like I said I would. That trust and authority score goes through the roof. You do that 3 times, oh my God, like they're going to work with that agent, no matter what the rest of the conversation is. But now let's continue. So here's where the real value add comes in, because I think all of this script is great so far, but this to me was the aha, like, holy crap, I've been following up wrong my whole entire career. So what value can you provide in a follow-up conversation? So there is 5 points here. And what I love about these are interchangeable, and you can pull up a list of 1,000 people that you're following up with that are in a similar category, and you can tell each and every one of them the same exact story. You can build that authority, you can build that script in yourself, and each one of them getting a personalized update, but it's the same story based upon these bullet points. And again, when you download this script, you'll see it, but here they are. So it's, hey Lana, I was thinking about you because, and it's any of these 5 topics. Number 1 is you talk to them about the changing market conditions. Number 2, which is a hot topic right now, an increase or decrease in interest rates. In addition to that, maybe any loan programs that you and a lender partner are providing, any solutions you may have to their problems around interest rates. Number 3 is new properties that they may be interested in. I think that one's pretty industry standard, but I think that's so important that that's another talking point. Like you can tell them, you can dangle the carrot. Hey, we have a new property that's coming on the market, right? Homes like theirs or in their neighborhood that have sold. So this is great for sellers. Hey, Lana, did you notice that your neighbor's house down the street, Jim and Beth's house, just sold? Were you aware of that? Were you aware of what it sold for? Now I'm providing her value as a seller to let her know what her home is worth, right? Success stories of clients that have bought or sold. What I like to add to that is success stories of clients that are in a similar situation to theirs,
right? Because
they can relate to it. Facts tell, stories sell, right? And so tell them a story of someone else's success, and it's so crucial. Any of those 5 points will work. Don't go through all 5 of them in the same call, guys. It's just one, right? Just a little bit of value for each call because you're building that over time. You're adding your authority. But let's go back to number 1, changing market conditions. Here's a freebie. If you're a real estate agent and you're not doing a monthly market update, or you're not a part of a team that does that every single month, you need to get your crap together. You have to educate and inform the consumer in today's marketplace. And all you have to do is read from the script that you did the video of your market update, and that is your phone script. And here's another freebie, and we probably need to get better at this as a team. When's the last time that you had that conversation, you followed them up with a video that your team did of the market update, or you sent them the graphic that you created to tell everybody about the market stats? You're just adding constant value to the relationship. Anything you want to add to that, Lana?
No, I agree. Even, we were talking a lot about video text and the value in that. So yeah, I mean, sending a video text, acknowledging, making it personalized, telling them a little bit about what's going on in the market is a game changer, because now they know that you're constantly thinking about them and wanting to make sure that they're educated in terms of what's going on in the local market.
100%. All right. So after you provide that value, right, then you go to, this is the next step in the script. Lana, I'm curious, do you want to be moved to blank by blank, or did you want to start the process at that time? I'm getting motivation and clarity on the time frame. How many buyers that you were following up with, do you have absolute clarity on their time frame, on their price range, on their location? Very, very few. Very few, because we don't ask great questions as salespeople. This is a great question. After I deposited into this relationship, I'm going to ask another withdrawal of, I want more clarity on your situation so I can help you more, right? And a lot of times we're getting to one of my favorite questions. Nope, that's on a different script. Never mind. But what I think that does is that leads to a possibility for us to really provide that so much value, and we get them to question themselves. We get them to question that they lack clarity on their own plan, and then we get to jump in and help them.
Right.
Which in reality, we are trying to do anyway, but sometimes they're not open to it, right? They think they don't need us because in the information overload world that we live in, we don't have access to special information that they don't have in a lot of cases, but we do have the expertise, we do have the experience, and we can help them.
Right.
Right. So I'm curious, do you want to be moved to blank by blank, or do you want to start the process at that time? Next is, Lana, fortunately, to get you one step closer to blank area, all we need to do is set up a quick 15-minute strategy session so that myself and my team can help you get what you want in the time you want. Say that again. So me and my team can help you get what you want in the time that you want. Won't that be great?
Absolutely.
Guys, this part right here, it sounds, not a lot of people talk like that. I get it, right? It sounds a little clunky. As far as if I'm just having a conversation, I'm not going to say, hey, won't that be great? Right? That's not how I talk. Mm-hmm. But I promise you this works. I'm going to give a quick story. We had a newer agent on the team, Heather, was doing this, and she shared her story publicly. We've done a couple videos on it, but she was following this script. She was one of the people that was calling back like she said she would, even though she'd not talked to them before, right? But she trusted the process and started doing it. I overheard her. She was going through this, did phenomenal. She got to this question, and I was listening around the corner. I'm like, oh, she's getting ready to set this appointment. And she didn't. She changed this. She changed the close. And I asked her afterwards, I was just kind of doing some recapping with her. I said, hey, you did great here. You did great there. I'm just curious, why'd you change the end and you didn't say it like that? Well, I don't talk like that. Cool. How many appointments have you set so far today? Well, none. How about we talk about like someone that sets appointments? Can you just trust me and try this? Like if you do this afternoon and don't set any appointments, like, all right, neither one of them work. But just try it this way.
Right.
She came running to me after her very next phone call. Matt. I'm like, oh my God, what happened? Something like the building's on fire, right? And she's like, it worked. I'm like, what worked? I said, won't that be great? And sure as shit, he said, yeah, that would be great. I'm like, how crazy is that?
Right.
That like
and now we can't get her to stop saying it, right?
yeah. But my point is like, if you're listening to this, and you're like, oh, that won't work for me. Cool, quit listening to this because you're wasting your time. If you want something that's going to work, stick to this. This works. Now, once this becomes ingrained, you do this 1,000 times and you set 1,000 appointments with it, sure, now you can tweak it. But quit tweaking things before you try it. You got to try it. I promise you, I am proof. My team is proof. This works if you stick to it exactly. So don't tweak it.
And you won't want to tweak it because you'll see the results from it.
100%. But like, seriously, if you ask someone, hey, I want to get you what you want in the time you want, won't that be great? What are you going to say? Nah.
Right.
I don't want what I want. I don't want it the time that I want it.
Right.
That sounds terrible to me, right? Like we're setting them in a trap, but what we did is so many agents struggle with how do you set the appointment? Well, I deposit all kinds of value. I established authority and trust by calling you back like I said I would. I defined more of your timeline, got you to think critically of your motivation, your timeline, all of those things after I've deposited value. And then I'm going to say, hey, all we need to do is set up a quick 15-minute strategy session. But I don't say, hey, we're going to set up a quick consult. How does tomorrow work at 2 work for you? Right. I'm going to say we're going to set up a quick 15-minute strategy session so that myself and my team can help you get what you want and the time you want. Right. Won't that be great? They forgot that we said what would be great. They forgot that I asked for an appointment, right? Like seriously, because they want what they want in the time that they want it. And this 15-minute strategy session is exactly how we help them get it.
Right.
It works like gold. And then, of course, you do the alternative choice close. What works best for you tomorrow at 2 or 4, right? But that's the script, guys. If you want that, if you want access to it, I promise you it is gold. Click the link and wherever you're listening to this, we'll have that there as a free resource. And send us a comment. Let us know how it works. Let us know how many appointments you set because I promise you if you follow it, it will work.
It will work.
Awesome. Lana, appreciate you being here. I think we're out of time here. Is there anything else you'd like to say to wrap up?
No, thanks for having me. And I hope that, any of the agents that are listening really take some of these pointers back to their business and they will see the change and the momentum that they'll have moving forward with clients that they may have thought, were not a good lead or whatever, but it's definitely a game changer. So I just recommend that you listen to this podcast over and over again and take something from it every time you listen to it and implement it, and it'll be a game changer.
I love it. Well, Lana, thank you so much for being here. She is proof, guys. This stuff works. That's why I had her on the show. This isn't just Matt talking shit. This is real life. We put this stuff to action. We produce amazing results. This is one of the things that led to us having the best March ever. 99 homes under contract while our market was down 38%. Yep. So this stuff works. This isn't theory. This is proven. If If you want to level up, that's what this podcast is all about. This is a movement. This is my way to give back to this amazing industry that's given so much to me. And so if you got value of this, if you got value of any of this, the script, share it with a friend. This is free. This is a movement. This is our way of giving back. So share this with other people. Let's grow this movement. Let's help more people, and let's level up the skill set in our industry. Thanks for listening, guys.